Okay, now what we have to do is we have to look at look at how to create and manage an array of objects. Just like in other data types, for example, int, char, and float, we had seen how to manipulate them in the form of arrays. So similarly, here we are going to look at array of objects. Okay, so let's look at it. So include iostream.h. Okay, hash include conio.h. Okay, then we need to create a class of student marks. Okay, now student marks will contain what? Remember, we start off with private label for the data members. We will have int roll number, int maths, int science. Okay, and we also need to have the average of these two marks. So average usually will be float, because and when you divide two numbers, or which sum of two numbers, which is odd number divided by 2, will give you in decimal places. So float average. Okay, now public now we have to specify the function member functions. Now the member functions that we require is get data. One is getting the data and the other is the putting the data. Okay, and one okay, so get data and put data. Now what will get data return? Basically it will not return anything, it will just store the data in the data members. And again put data will store the values in the data members. Okay, so now that completes. So basically I'm not going to have inline functions, right? These get data and put data will be there as part of the definitions of them will be outside the class definition. Okay, so remember, if I have to put it outside, what do I have to do? I have to give the student the class name, that is student marks, colon, double colon, which is the scope resolution operator, and I have to give the function name get data. And what will it return? It will return void. So now get data will do what? Get the data from the user. So get data, enter roll number. Okay, C in roll number, right? Roll number, and then C out, enter the maths marks. Okay, and just so that it is all aligned properly, let's push this forward. Okay, C in maths. Okay, C out, enter the science marks. Okay, C in science, and again just to keep it aligned, let's push it forward. Okay, right. And now finally, remember, average is also required, so I say average is equal to maths plus science divided by 2, right? So average also gets stored as part of getting the data. Now what about put data? Do we really require put data now? We don't really require put data. That get data itself will put. So I had some thinking, and now I realize that put data is not required, because I am accepting the values directly into the data members. Okay, so now once this is over, what do we do? We need to start off with the main function, right? So void main. Now as part of this, what do? We need to create a set of an array of objects, right? So first of all, as usual, we'll clear the screen, and then we will say student marks. This is the data type, so class name is the data type, and student, this is your object name, and I'm going to have, let's say, 3 objects, right? 3 student marks objects. Okay, so I have that now. Now remember, the moment you say array, to go through the array you require a loop. So for int I equal to 0, I less than 3, I plus plus, right? And then what do? I just have to say student of I dot get data, right? So when this function gets called, it will come here and it will accept the values from the user. It will calculate the average and store it in the data members of that particular object, that is of student 0. Student 0 object will contain the values that is entered. Then it will go through the second iteration, in which case it will be student of 1. Similarly, student of 2. Okay. Now we need to display the data that has been captured in the form of a report. So first we require a heading. So cout roll number. Okay, roll number. Then what I can do is, instead of putting it separately, I can say \t, that is tab, \t double tab, then maths, then single tab, then science, then single tab, then average, and \n, which is new line. So it will go to the next line. Okay, then cout. Similarly, I put a, now I follow the same sequence, double tab, maths, tab, science, tab, average, and new line. Now again I have to repeat the loop. So I equal to 0, I less than 3, I plus plus, and now I can do it in one single statement, or I can split it into multiple statements. To keep it simple, I can say cout what? Now remember, I require the roll number to be displayed. So to display the roll number is there in the object. I can't directly access these data members because they are private. So I require a function which will give me that roll number. So which means I require a function which is going to give me roll number. So I'll say get roll number. Okay, get roll number. And what will be its definition? Since it's just a question of returning roll number, I'll just say return roll number, and I'll make it as a inline function, because it's a very simple thing. It's just return roll number. And what is it returning? It's returning an int. Similarly, I'm sure you have already guessed it, I require to return maths, science, and average. So get science. So I need to have a separate function for this. So return science. Okay, and remember, this itself, return science itself, is a statement. So I require a semicolon there, require a semicolon here. Similarly, int get maths. Okay, and return maths and semicolon. Okay. Now finally I require get average. Now remember, get average will return float. So return average. Okay. So now here what do? I say cout student of I dot get roll number, and it's a function call, right? And then I have to put a tab. Now I have put double tab, so here also I'll put double tab. And then what? Again student of I dot maths, get maths. It's a function call, right? And again now a single tab. Again student of I dot get science, function call, and a single tab within quotes, right? And similarly student of I dot get average. Yes, and of course after this end line. Okay, I can do like this, or what I can do is I can put it in separate lines. So for example, I can say cout. This makes it more readable, it becomes easier to understand. Otherwise you will end up doing left and right scrolling. Okay, so here again I take it as cout. Okay, so now let's see how it runs. Okay, error. Okay, missing semicolon. Now we have to make it stop at the end of it. So get ch. Now let's run this again. 0 1, some numbers, 0 2, okay, 0 3. Okay, now what's happening here? Now, okay, I have given it a /n after average heading. That's why it's not going to the new line, it is displaying /n. Okay, now as far as I require only a single tab for maths. Okay, so for column heading maths, I require only a single tab. That is one. Second thing is this should be \n. Okay, I think now it should work. So 0 1, 0 2, 0 3, okay, roll number, math, science, average. Great, but that lining, dashed line is not proper. So here also I should remove double tap. Okay, now final run. 0 1, okay, 0 2, 0 3, okay, great. So this looks perfect. Now the only thing is this, let's put this above also. So edit, copy, and edit, paste, right? And here let's take it next line. Okay, and let's put cout tab, no, not tab, end line. Okay, let's run it finally once. So 0 1, 0 2, 0 3. Okay, perfect, right? So that completes the solution. So let's save it and let's close this and let's quit.